welcome to Medicine for the Soul Yoga. My name is Kat, and this is going to be part 3 of our Journey to Crow series, a short and fiery practice with lots of drills to build up strength, including building up some time in our plank that we practiced last time, and then a little play around with actual crow pose. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start in tabletop today. So naturally we should be now spreading the fingers, really gripping onto the mat, seeing the whites in the fingertips. And the knees are under the hips. Neck is long, breathing in and out through the nose. We're almost pushing out of the tops of the feet, so we're really finding this kind of lift. And just notice whether your shoulders, or your chest rather, is kind of sinking in this position. We want to push out of the heels of the hands and into the fingertips as well. We're not rounding the back, but we're rounding the top of the shoulders. So this real engagement across the top of the back of the shoulders. Still breathing in and out through the nose. We feel the core slightly waking up, engaging the core here as well. And it's this kind of engagement that we want to feel when we're in plank and also when we're in crow pose. This lifting and rounding of the top of the shoulders, really finding height off the mat. One more big inhale, big exhale. Next inhale, we'll let the belly drop down and roll the shoulders, look up. So we're really arching the back now. Reach the chin up, reach the tailbone up. Exhale, moving the pelvis, tuck the pelvis and round the back. Draw the chin into the chest. Here we can really push out the hands. Feel that lovely stretch across the back of the shoulders. Inhale, arching. Let the breath lead the movement. Look up. Exhale, rounding. Good. Coming to neutral spine. We're going to make clockwise circles, letting the weight come over the wrists. Focusing on the breath. And changing direction. Big deep breath through the nose. Finding stillness. Good. We're going to place the top of one hand gently on the mat. Lean back slightly if you need to, and then placing the other top of the hand. Keeping the arms quite bent is fine, or perhaps working into straightening them. So this is a really great exercise to strengthen the wrists. Breathe into this quite challenging stretch. Good, and then we'll gently sit back on the heels and let the hands peel off the mat. And then slide the hands back to the thighs. Big shoulder roll, good. We'll dive the hands forward and we'll come into our low plank. So we'll let the hips dip, engage the glutes, engage the core. Big inhale as we look forward. Exhale, hugging the elbows in, reaching the chest and the hips down at the same time. Big inhale, reaching the chest up, roll the shoulders, look up. Exhale, finding our downward facing dog. Good. Pedaling out the heels, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Big deep breaths through the nose. Waking up the hamstrings. We'll take another vinyasa. So inhale, rolling. That same kind of feeling as in our cat-cow. We're rolling the back forward, rounding off the top of the shoulders. So strong in this plank. Exhale, drop the knees and the hips. Exhale, drop the chest and the chin, elbows hugging back. Inhale into our back bend. Exhale, pushing back to downward dog. Again, pedaling out the heels. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Good, we're going to take one more vinyasa. Inhale, rolling forward, so strong. Big inhale here. Option to drop the knees or option to take a full vinyasa where we come to half plank, elbows are at 45-degree angle, and then we just dip the hips, lift the chest, coming into our upward dog. So wherever you're at, take that vinyasa, and then exhale, we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Good. We're going to push the chest towards the thighs and feel the back of the legs wake up. The heels are drawing down. We'll walk the hands back towards the feet. Have a slight bend in the legs here as we gently melt over the legs, holding each elbow with the opposite hand, and we can sway side to side. Big inhale. Big exhale. Good. Walking the hands forward. So we're going to come into our plank. So last time we held the plank for 30 seconds and then another 30 seconds. So maybe you just did the first 30 seconds and that's fine. This time we're going to do 40 seconds and then another 30. So we're adding on each time. So just stop at where you're kind of at. We're going to come onto the forearms again. Please, of course, drop the knees whenever you need to. And we'll begin. So this time we're aiming for 40 seconds to begin with. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Are the shoulders, hips and heels in one long line? We squeezing the belly button into the spine. Still breathing through the nose. Again, rounding the top of the shoulders, pushing out of the mat. 10 more seconds, we can do it. Clenching the glutes, lifting the kneecaps, engaging the legs. So that's 40 seconds. You can rest here if you need. If you're holding with me, if you held for a minute last time, you can hold a bit longer. Come on. Focus on the breath. Maybe counting the breaths. Okay, so that's a minute. We're going to try 10 more seconds. Please remember where you get to, because each time we'll build on it and everyone's at a different stage in their journey. And release, good. Well done. So wherever you got to there, be really proud of yourself and remember how long that was for. If you stayed with me the whole time, we did that for a minute and 10 seconds. We can just let the chest melt down in this kind of chair, in this child's pose variation. And then gently lift the chest, walk the hands back. Roll out the shoulders, really good. We'll just lean the fingers back and just open the chest. Take a lovely big inhale here. Feel the shoulder blades meet behind the back. Big exhale. Gently coming forward. Good, so we're going to do a bit of crow pose before we get too tired. So we've covered the alignment of the pose. I'm going to just cover it briefly again. Maybe just wiggling out the wrists here, especially if this is your first movement of the day, just making sure those wrist joints are warm and mobile. So last time we focused on our correct alignment and holding. We held for 10 seconds. We're going to do the same again, but there's an option here of toe tapping the toes up and down to kind of see what it feels like to have a bit of lift. So we're going to come into low yogi squat to begin with. Just opening out those hips, waking up the hip flexors. Focus on the breath, in and out through the nose. So we're going to plant the hands, middle fingers are pointing forward, fingers are super spread. Remembering to almost roll the elbows out to the side, inside creases of the elbows are pointing forwards. Elbows, when they bend directly back, not at all out to the side. Lifting the heels up slightly. We can walk the feet a bit closer to the body if you feel like it's quite hard to get the knee up there. Sometimes bringing yourself closer to the hands is all that's needed. Lift the heels up, squeeze the knees up to the center, lift the hips as well, look forward, and we're just gonna bring ourselves onto the back of the arms. Maybe you can shuffle the toes back slightly so that we're really resting on the toes, and we're gonna hold here for 10 seconds. Squeeze the core, look forward. And release, good. Shake out the knees, any other little releases you need to do. We're going to come into that again, but this time toe tapping. Spread the fingers, lift up the knees, leaning gently forward, find height. Again, imagine you're pushing the middle of the shoulder blades up. So we're going to toe tap now, which is optional of course. And we're going to just tap the right toe and then the left. Squeeze it up. Don't forget to breathe. One more. And rest. Really good. We'll bring the hands back, sit the knees down, the hips down, and just release for a moment in our butterfly. We can let the knees gently move up and down. Big deep breaths. Good, gently coming up. Bring the knees together, hands behind the body, and we'll just let the knees sway side to side. Okay, so we're going to come into crow pose one more time. Option to stay how we were, either with the big toes on the mat or toe tapping the big toes, or option to hold the toes up a bit longer. So we're going to lift one toe up, hold, then place it down, and the other one hold. So we're having a little bit more air time. So just take it to whichever level you're comfortable with. Setting ourselves up. It's a bit of an experiment as well. The more you do it, the more you'll work out what alignment works for your body and what's the easiest way for you to get into it. Lift up the heels, lift up the hips, look forward, bend the elbows in, knees are right at the top of the arms. Roll onto the big toes. If you're toe tapping with me, we're going to lift the right toe up and hold. And then gently place it down, lift the left. Really good. Hold. Of course, keep the toes on the mat if you need. One more time each side. Hold. Bring it down and left. Hold. Bring it down. Bring yourself back onto the heels. Good. We'll straighten the legs. Inhale, flat back. Bring the hands onto the shins. Look up. Big inhale here. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, bending into the legs slightly. Come into a gentle forward fold. This time placing the hands behind the back of the head and let the weight of the arms just draw the neck down, lengthening the neck. Big inhale, big exhale. Good, we're going to walk the hands forward, find our downward dog. Might have to walk the feet back a bit as well. Inhale, rolling into our plank, taking our vinyasa really slowly. Flow with the breath, flow with intention. Exhale, we'll all meet back in our downward facing dog. Good, we'll bring the knees onto the mat. And then we'll let the feet go to the left, bring the hips behind us, and we'll bring the feet in front. So we're going to bring the hands onto the mat, slide the hips forward. Bring the hands out wide, palms facing up. Keep the chin drawing in, squeezing the core, and roll so slowly down onto the mat. Good, and then releasing back. Just take a moment here, rest the hands in the area below the belly button. Feel the breath, feel the shoulder blades relax into the mat. So we're going to come into crow pose but on our backs, so kind of upside down crow. And it's a really good way to strengthen our core and our stability in crow pose. So we're going to bring the knees up and imagine like we were in crow pose. So bring the elbows onto the inside of the knees and we're going to squeeze everything up. So we almost feel like we're pushing up with the hands and pushing up with the feet, but keeping the knees bent and almost lifting the tailbone up as well. So we're squeezing the core, really using the lower core here. Keep the chin tucked in. Pushing up with the hands on this imaginary wall. Keep breathing through the nose. So the tailbone's lifting, we can feel it in the lower core. One more big inhale, And then exhale, release the knees, place the hands over the knees, let the legs release and just let them hang. You can maybe let the knees just move forward and back, give a little massage out to the lower back. Good, so we'll come into that again. Squeezing the knees into the body, opening them out slightly to the side. Keep them drawing in as we lift the feet up, arms to the inside, and we push up on this imaginary wall and squeeze our knees into the arms as well. So we're hugging the knees in, lifting the lower back off the mat, and we're breathing so deeply through the nose. Squeeze the belly button into the spine. One more big inhale. Good, and exhale, release. This time hands on the knees, and we'll just rock and roll up and down the back. Let the feet flick over the head. Keep the chin tucked in. Rolling really slowly. Next time we come back, perhaps pausing for a moment with the feet over the head, so we're just really lengthening out the whole back body. And again, we can do that again. Feels really nice. Good, and then we'll gently roll all the way down onto the back. Keep the legs lifted. We're going to do a final bit of work on the core, on the lower core again. So we're going to place the hands either side of the mat, palms facing down. We can have the legs bent if this is too difficult, but if you can, keep the legs straight. We're going to squeeze the core and lift the hips up and then bring them down. Inhale up, exhale down. So trying to use the core rather than just pushing down on the hands and really lifting the hips. If you can, maybe even bringing the feet down a bit as you bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring them down as much as you can with the lower back on the mat. If the lower back comes up, then don't go so far. We're going to do 5 more of these. So we're really lifting the hips up. Good. 2. Squeeze the core. 3. Move slowly and smoothly. 4. Lift the hips. Good, last one. Squeeze up, lower down, good. Hug the knees into the chest, draw the forehead up to the knees. Gently rock side to side. Release the head onto the mat, good. Take a big breath here. Lengthening the legs. Placing the hands again either side of the body. Exhale, drawing the heels down. Inhale, squeezing them up. If the lower back comes off the mat in this movement, bend the legs. Make it slightly easier because we need the lower back completely pushed on the mat. So this is exhale down. Inhale, squeeze up. Bend the legs if you need to. Exhale down. Inhale, squeezing up. We're going to do 5 more. Exhale down, inhale, squeeze up. 3 more, bend the legs if you find any pain in the lower back. Good, 2 more. Really good one for the core. Last one. Inhale, bending the legs in. Good, place the arms around the legs and we'll just gently rock side to side. Take a big deep breath. Let the feet melt onto the mat. We'll cross the right leg over the left and let both legs fall to the left. Look over the right shoulder, palm facing up. Big inhale. Big exhale, softening the body. Where could you release more here? Gently come back to center. Placing the right foot down, left leg over right leg. Letting both legs fall to the right, look over the left shoulder, palm facing up. Big inhale. Big exhale, softening everything. Feeling the breath slowing down Every exhale getting slightly longer. Gently moving up to center. We'll just come into happy baby to finish. So arms on the inside of the legs, drawing the ankles down, release out the inner thighs, the inner hips. Good. Placing the feet together and drawing them down. So we're done there. Please feel free to enter a lovely Shavasana, or maybe some more movement would be nice here as well. Thank you.